For a political junkie, and I've been one since childhood, there's no more fascinating subject than our 42nd president. Bill Clinton's personality is so large, his talent so outsized, his flaws so glaring that I couldn't help but be drawn into the story of his life. It better have fascinated me. I spent 5 years on it. I conducted about 169 interviews for the book, with everyone from the cousin who took 6-year-old Billy Clinton to the Saturday afternoon westerns in Hope, Arkansas, to a former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. From classmates at every stage of his education to cabinet members and political consultants. From some of the best journalists in Arkansas to some of the best journalists in Washington and New York. Lawyers on both sides of the impeachment saga. Over 24 current and former members of Congress, from Democrats like Barney Frank and John Lewis to Republicans like Bob Dole and the late Henry Hyde. Some of Bill Clinton's best friends and some of his worst enemies. There are even cameos by Chevy Chase, the actor, and Larry Flint, the publishing executive. I chose the title, A Complicated Man, which came from the transcript of one of the interviews because it really does sum him up. Liberals think Bill Clinton's a conservative in liberals' clothing. Lawrence O'Donnell, the liberal MSNBC commentator, calls Clinton in the book, quote, far more conservative than Ronald Reagan. Conservatives think he's a liberal masquerading as a moderate. John Sununu, the former governor of New Hampshire and chief of staff to the first President Bush, says, quote, his glibness allowed him to be a centrist and a conservative when, in fact, he was governing with extremely liberal policies. Bill Clinton may be the ultimate political Rorschach test. What you think of him depends on how you read the inkblot. Was he a brilliant pragmatist, bravely charging down the political middle to forge bipartisan solutions like welfare reform to problems that had bedeviled the nation for decades? Or was he a craven opportunist who made deals, like welfare reform, simply to advance his own political ambitions, no matter how many vulnerable Americans suffered as a result? Was he the magnificent peacemaker, bringing together Catholics and Protestants in Northern Ireland and Arabs and Jews in the Middle East? Was he the dazzling policy encyclopedia, capable of understanding the intricacies of economic policy, foreign policy, military policy, as well as, if not better than, the experts in those fields? Or was he the fool who couldn't control himself when a young intern flashed her underwear at him? People ask me what I concluded about Bill Clinton after writing the book, saint or sinner, genius or dope, the ultimate idealist or the ultimate narcissist. Here's how I answer. Every quote in the book is attributed. There's nothing off the record or for background, except for a single blind quote near the end. When I was nearly ready to put the manuscript to bed, I met with a former senior official in the Clinton administration. As we sat down to our glasses of iced tea, this person asked me, well, now that you're almost done, what do you think of Bill Clinton? You know, I said, I'm not sure. Yeah, this person replied, me neither.